Hey, I'm Joel.
And I'm David.
And using this model right in front of us, we're going to explore form and function and how it's beautiful in its own right. And we're going to do that here on 3D Printing Nerd. The model that David and I have in front of us is what's known as a puzzle cube. And this model is by Wildrose Builds on Twitter, Thingiverse, and YouTube. And, well, first, if you haven't seen a Wildrose Builds time-lapse, you are completely missing out. Because they use Octolapse and Octoprint and produce some of the most compelling time-lapse footage of 3D printing you've ever seen. There's going to be a link in the description. Sean might actually put some video up in front of me. It's incredible. I highly suggest you go check it out. But David, here's what we're going to do. We're going to explore this model a little bit, the puzzle cube. Should we try putting it together?
Yes.
Okay, I'll show you the trick because I've learned it. So this model interacts in a way that puts this point right here touching the other 2 points. And so this piece is supposed to fit in just like that. But it doesn't just slide in at a normal angle. It slides at, well, it slides at an angle. So if this is out just like that, sometimes you can take this slanted piece and tuck it right in. And then David, push it down for me.
Plop.
And there we go. This is the Wildrose Builds version of the cube. Angus from Maker's Muse did forward me an Instagram link, and it showed someone who made these out of metals, and it looked really cool. And what's great, David, is that it's all the same piece. This is the same piece, just printed. Thrinted. What's a piece that's printed 3 times? It's thrinted.
Don't ever do that again.
So this piece that we thrinted, it's the same piece. It's the exact same piece, but because of the cool way it's designed, everything just fits inside of itself, just like that. And it's really compelling. And I really like how this is beautiful because it shows form and function, and it's really neat how it all tucks together, how the design is perfected for everything to just slide into place. Do you like this design?
Yeah.
Now, we have it sitting flat like that. It would be better if it was sitting up like this, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna go into MatterHacker's new version of MatterControl, and we're gonna design a little base for it to make it sit like that. Here, come on, David, let's go. Hey, here we are. We're going to use MatterControl for our design stuff because MatterControl 2.0 has bug fixes, it has feature enhancements, and it has Tinkercad primitives. This is cool. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring out the half sphere, David. We're going to size it. How about we go 100 on the diameter? So that would make it 50 millimeters tall. That looks good.
Yeah.
So now what we can do is take the cube out.
Okay.
Okay, and we're going to change the cube to be 50 millimeters on either side. And I want it to go into the sky a little bit, but rather than dragging it, I'm going to come down here and type 25, and I'm going to hit enter. Now I can rotate it, how many degrees?
45.
Ooh, and how many degrees?
45.
Yeah. I like how you're designing this, David.
Are we gonna make the circle flat? 'Cause it's not.
Oh, it is segmented, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh. Look at that, it's not smooth. We'll have to fix that at the end.
Not even close.
It's not even close. So how about this? I'm gonna Control A to select all. I'm gonna use this button to align it and go X and Y and then hit the check mark. And now I'm gonna hit Control A and I'm gonna hit this button for subtract. And what are we subtracting?
The cube.
The cube. And I'm gonna hit update and look at that. How does that look, David?
Good.
But it's still segmented, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if I click this, and up in design history, I go to the half sphere, it gives me longitude and latitude sides. If we increase the number of sides, it will smooth out the model. So we'll go 200 here, and we'll go 200. Yeah? And then I'll click out. Oh, and it's doing some stuff, so David's gonna tell us a joke.
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Never mind.
Never mind who.
I don't want to knock, so
Oh, you don't want to
I'm just
knock.
gonna walk away.
Okay. Oh, well, it's a good thing we're done with the joke portion because look at that, David.
It finally
It's
looks
done.
good.
It finally looks great. And it's smooth too. I like it. I like it. Well, let's go print it and see how it looks.
Yeah.
Well, we designed it in MatterControl 2.0. It has some Tinkercad-like functionality, which is cool. And then we printed it. David, is it done?
Yeah.
Oh, no. David,
Aw,
it's so big.
it is.
Well, this is just a bit of a joke because while this one is pretty large, we happen to have a tiny one as well. We did design it this
so
large,
tiny.
but the super tiny one, ready, David?
It's so tiny.
It just holds it just like that. That's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this one aside,
It fell.
it fell. We now have this
Gigantic.
one. It slides pretty well, doesn't it?
Hockey.
So we should print a bigger one, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's do it.
Okay.
Bam.
This one's first.
Oh, thank you. This was printed at 3 times scale. This is, well, 300%. This is MatterHackers Build Series PLA. In fact, this stand and this first cube was printed in MatterHackers Build Series PLA. It's their gray, and it looks pretty good, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Do you think it'll work?
Yeah.
Let's go get another piece.
Okay. This one's next.
Ooh, this one. This is a great one. This was printed in an experimental kind of end run transitional filament that we were making at Proto Pasta. The issue is because the filament diameter was out of tolerance, we see that, look at that. Do you see those lines that stick out right there?
Yeah.
So those lines that stick out, unfortunately, were because the filament got a little bit too large. And because it's configured for 1.75 on the Pulse XE, and we were putting filament that was a lot larger than that through, it just spit out more filament. I love the color, though. The color is fantastic. And I think that this color is going to pair well with this gray. Should I try it?
Yeah.
Ooh,
That does pretty well.
that pairs really well. Well, let's get one more.
This one's the last one.
This is the last one. Ooh, okay. Well, this is High Five Blue right here. This is a very appropriate filament for a video on my channel. Let's see how it works together with all of these. So remember, we slide it out, and then would you like to put it in?
Yeah.
See if you can get it in there. And there it is.
Hey, it looks really good.
That looks fantastic. Well, let's put it in here. Ooh, that's kind of cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
I like how this stand lets it stand up so we can just see it and display it. In fact, if we twist it, oh, that looks great. But David, I have this idea. You know, this is my High Five Blue, right? This is my High Five Blue filament. What if we actually did a collaboration on this one? So first, let's get something to fill this out, and then we'll make a collaboration cube. What do you say?
Cool. How about this one?
That looks like a good one. Let's move these aside. This is the end run of a Proto Pasta gradient, and you can see how the blues and the whites right there, how they look pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
That's a pretty gorgeous piece. Well, let's slide this one in here.
Ooh, that looks good.
That does look good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to put that there. All right. Well, now we
There's
can
a
work.
little space there.
There is a little space there, and that's okay. Do you want me to put that facing down?
Sure.
Okay. Is that better?
Yeah.
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 Okay. We're going to make this a collaboration cube then. So this is my High Five Blue. Could you find the orange and the red for me, please? What have you found?
Well, here's the orange.
The orange. This
And you
orange.
said you also needed the red?
do.
Here's the red.
Oh, you got them both. Thank you, David. The orange, this is Tom's orange. So Tom of Tom's 3DP, Tom Sandladerer. He and Proto Pasta put together an orangish filament, and this is on one of the pre-production rolls. This is pre-production Tom right here. Could you put it with the blue one, please? Yeah. Yeah, you got it right. Cool. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
This red one, this is Candy Apple Red. And this is my friend Chuck Hellebuck. Proto Pasta wanted a Candy Apple Red. Chuck Hellebuck said, hey, I love red, and so we call this the Chuck Hellebuck Candy Apple Red from Proto Pasta. It looks pretty good though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that look good?
Yeah.
Can you add it to this cube?
I'll try.
Do or do not. There is no try.
It's got to be, remember, it's got to be even with everything. Ready?
Yeah. Yay!
Yay! There it is. Wow, that looks really good, doesn't it?
It does look really good.
This is the Tom's 3DP Orange, the Chuck Hellebuck Candy Apple Red, and the 3D Printing Nerd High Five Blue. Do we have another one of those around, David? Could you grab one for me?
Here you go.
Look at that. Riley, your sister, she's the one that painted that. That looks pretty good, doesn't it? And I think it would...
She is a good painter.
She's a fantastic painter. And I think it would fit that one just dandy. We've got more, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, let's... Hey, David,
Yeah.
what piece did you grab?
I'll grab this one.
Ooh, look at that. This was some of the filament that you and Riley and Sydney and I made.
Cool.
Yeah. Isn't that cool? What
My
do you,
filament!
what do you think of the color?
My filament got used!
Do you like the color of it?
Yeah, I love it.
What's your favorite part of that? What do you think? Do you like?
That and that.
Oh, you like the kind of the orangey, kind of the
Yeah.
creamsicle-y there?
The orangish gold. Orangish.
I like
Gold.
it. I like
Yeah.
it. So this is also a transitional filament, right?
Yeah.
Let's pair it with this one. Well, here, before you do that, can you go grab one more blue one for me, and we'll finish out the solid colors.
The
Let's see.
last blue.
So it's mostly blue. It looks like it's still got some of that transition to it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to consider it a solid color, and we're going to call this cube good to go. Look at that. I think that's a
looks
good
good.
cube right there.
It's solid enough.
It's solid enough. That's a good way to describe it. It's solid enough. Now this one though, we've got these two gradient filaments. Here, would you put that together for me? We need one more though. We do need one more.
Want me to go get it?
Is there one more? Can you go see?
There is.
Oh, there is.
Woohoo!
Of course there is. Yes. This is an amazing filament. This is called Filablend. And this
Filablend.
filament is actually, when you know filament, how it's a strand of filament?
Yeah.
This filament actually has 3 different colors in that strand. And so, here's where it gets crazy.
Hold on to your butts.
What color is that? Greenish white?
Yeah.
What color is that? Blue?
Yeah.
What color is that?
Green.
So the filament, because there's
Wow.
multiple colors in the strand of filament, depending on the direction the extruder is moving on the build plate in X and Y, you get different colors. You get
That
different
is
colors.
so cool!
It is very cool. It is very, very cool. And it's amazing because I look at this side right here and I see blues, reds, and then I look at the other side of it and I see greens and I see yellows and I see reds.
All sorts of colors.
So this is cool.
Colors everywhere.
Colors everywhere. And I think it's gonna go well over here.
It definitely will.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you know what? Would you add this to the cube, please? There it is.
Teamwork.
This is probably the most colorful cube, wouldn't you say? I mean, when
yeah,
you look at it like that.
By a lot.
Here, look at it like that. That's pretty good. David?
Yeah.
We have a very special stand for this made out of Nylon X. Would you go grab it for me, please? It wouldn't be right if I didn't use some Nylon X because I was printing on the Pulse XE and I was using MatterControl 2.0 software. David?
It's really light. Here you go.
It's very light. It's a carbon fiber nylon material and it's structurally strong,
Really? Oh.
but it's also super light.
Yeah.
So what if we did that?
That looks good.
Ooh. That looks really good, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because as you twist it, as you turn it, you actually get some of that gradient from that icy blue. You get some of the gradient from that filament that you made. You get the color show from the Filablend.
Whoa.
Isn't it cool?
That looks like a scratch from Jurassic World.
It does look like a Jurassic World scratch, doesn't it? All right, well, David, we've got one more. One more!
Really?
One more. Okay, David, you ready?
Yeah.
So with 3D printing, you know it's not perfect, right?
Yeah.
There are failures and errors sometimes, right? But I think even in failure, there's beauty.
Whoa.
So these failed for various reasons, whether
That
it
one's
was
cool, that one's
because
cool, and that one's cool.
of a clogged nozzle, or we were having some temperature differences that we needed to to solve, or if we just didn't have our retraction settings right and it's hairy like Santa Claus's mustache. And when you think about it, this piece right here, when I printed this, I had a problem on one of the layers. So this
That
was
makes it look even cooler.
It's very unique. So now, David, here's the challenge. Can you put this puzzle together? Do you want a hint?
No.
Good. Yeah, you've got it right. And there we go.
That makes it unique.
And we do that just like that. So even though
It still works the same.
it still works the same, and even though these pieces are technically considered a 3D printing failure, I still think that this looks really cool.
Yeah.
I still think that being able to see the infill, like the triangles here, and being able to see the different shapes and the geometries of this, I think
It's kind of cool.
It's cool in its own way.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's put these all right here, and let's take a vote and see whose is what's favorite, okay?
Okay. Wait, can I do a fun fact? I know why 3D printers use triangles as the inside.
Why?
Triangles are the strongest shape found in nature.
That's right. Give me one of those. So, David,
Yeah.
we have our failure cube right here. We have what we're calling the collaboration cube right here. We've got the gradient cube right here. And we have the opaque, I call it the silver winter cube.
I like that name.
That's a good name, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
it's appropriate too. And we have the green one. But let's remove this from the voting. Let's set this aside. David, of these four, which is your favorite and
one.
why? Why is this your favorite?
It looks cool.
It just looks cool.
It looks cool in ways like you can see the inside and how the 3D printer made it.
You do like being able to see the inside.
Yeah.
Cool. Me too. You know what I like? I like them all. I don't
That
have
is-
a favorite.
That is true, but I like this one the most. Whoa.
Ooh, it's sturdy, isn't it?
It's so sturdy.
Well, everybody watching this video, I just want to ask you, which is your favorite cube? Do you like the wintry silver mix here? Do you like the gradients and the different color meshes going on here? Do you like the beautiful failure that we have here and that David loves the most? Or do you love the collaboration cube with the rainbow stand by Riley? It's important that we mention that. Vote in the comments and tell people why. That would be great. But other than that, hey, thanks for watching. This was a lot of fun. And if you made it this far, you're awesome. Thank you for helping me, David.
You're welcome.
That was very nice of you. I appreciate that. Tell people to subscribe if they're not.
Subscribe if you're not.
And tell them to ring the bell to be notified of when cool stuff gets uploaded.
Ring the bell to be notified when cool stuff is uploaded. New videos come out every Wednesday and Sunday.
All right, beyond all that, don't forget to hug each other more, because I love you guys, as always. High five.
High five.
There it is.